Vanakkam and Namaskaram to all of you. Welcome to Haya's Production House. If you have not subscribed yet, please like, share and subscribe to Haya's Production House for a variety of informative videos. Thank you and mikka nandri to each one of you to encourage and support and watch all our videos. Take this opportunity to thank Dr. V.V. Parthasarathy to share such valuable information with all of us. He takes a lot of pains to pay attention to details. Extremely honored to have Mr. Parthasarathy to share his wonderful information in Haya's Production House. Kindly like, share and subscribe to Haya's Production House. All of us were awaiting the part 2. Part 1, Dr. V.V. Parthasarathy spoke about Karma Yoga and how important action is and what is Ishvara Samarpana Buddhi. Now in part 2, we are going to think about who is Ishvara. Go into the video and watch Dr. Parthasarathy talk about who is Ishvara. I hope you'll enjoy this beautiful video and kindly like, share and subscribe to Haya's Production House. Let us listen, recollect and ponder, reflect over what he says.
Namaskaram. We saw in our last episode that every man wants to be happy in this life, and in order to achieve this happiness he keeps on doing a lot of actions, and these actions produce results automatically. And we also saw that however we do the actions, the results may not be comfortable for us or may be comfortable for us, and it depends on many factors that also we have seen in the previous episode. And each of these results produce certain reactions, and as we said, the action is not a problem, the result is not a problem, the reaction to the result is the problem. So we also said that if these results as they come are taken with Ishvara Arpana Buddhi or as Lord's Prasada, then there is no problem. Our mind becomes composure and then we are absolutely free. We might improve upon next time with all the experience we have. But these results have come and the results have to be taken, and in taking those results, if we take it with Ishvara Arpana Buddhi or surrender to the Lord and as His Prasadam, as His gift, then there is no problem. Now the question comes, who is that Ishvara? That's the most important point which we have to know. Because each one has number of ideas. We immediately think of the gods, the pictures of gods or the devatas whom we like as Ishvara. No doubt they are all Ishvara. But what we are talking about is that all-knowing principle, that Sarva Shaktiman, Sarva Vyapi, one who is expanded himself, one who is available everywhere and who knows everything. And we also call him as the creator of this universe. So then there is a little discussion about creation. Anything is created in this world with two causes. One is material cause and another is intelligent cause. Let me take the age-old experience of a pot. A pot, to make a pot, we require mud, water and the wheel and other chemicals or substances, plus the potter's knowledge of making the pot. So we call it as material cause. The first one which I said was material cause, and the intelligent cause is the potter. Potter, with his knowledge of making a pot, can make a small pot, can make a big pot, can make a mug, can make a flower pot. Anything he can make because he knows to make the pot. Similarly, with gold and other required items, a goldsmith makes different varieties of gold ornaments. This is common for all creations. So, that particular individual, a carpenter for that matter, a carpenter makes a bench, a chair, a table, a computer table, sofa, so many items out of wood and other required Fevicol, all those things, required items. All those things we call it as material cause, and the carpenter becomes the intelligent cause. So, when a father showed the pot, brought a pot mug from the market and showed it to the daughter, she said, "Who made this?" The father said, "The potter who made it." Then the very intelligent girl asked the question, "Where is the potter?" The potter, I don't see the potter. So each time when we buy a pot or a mug or jug or whatever it is, we cannot bring along with us the potter to prove that it has been done by the potter. But the knowledge of the potter is inside the pot. The knowledge of the goldsmith is inside the gold ornaments. So, if this is the case with a smaller creation, what about a bigger creation of the universe? Who made it? And where from he made it? A potter has got mud, water, everything. So they said, somebody said, God made this. Right. Then the next question comes, from where God made this? From space? No, space itself, you cannot separate God from the space, because he is pervading the space also. So, with his Sarva Sakti and all knowledge, he creates this world. So, that where is that Ishvara now? The question is, where is not Ishvara? So we should always ask the question, instead of asking, where is God? We should ask, where is not God? Our ancient scriptures also have said that Panchabhutas, people were worshipping the Panchabhutas like Agni, Vayu, space, water, fire, they were worshipping. And that if you expand, the whole creation is consisting of these things. And the Ishvara Shakti, Sarvajnani, who knows everything, has created, has put them in order in a proper place, like a potter or a carpenter or somebody. Everything is in order. That order, some people call it as Dharma also. It's a Dharma. It's an order, universal order, which you and I cannot do. Because with our limited knowledge, we can do something. A doctor is known for his medical profession. An IT specialist is known for his computer profession. Or an architect builds houses, plans houses. Whereas all these things are there already for us to enjoy. Like some people call, you just walk in like a 5-star hotel where everything is available. You don't have to take anything. except your personal belongings. So this world existed before I came, or after I go, also this world will be there. And who sustains this world? How was it created? You can't say he created from heaven. Then the question comes, where was heaven before he created? Who created heaven? The God created heaven. Then where was God before heaven was created? Was he in hell? No. So it just comes out of his Shakti, Maya Shakti, and everything, the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the movables, immovables, everything is there, created in a particular order for you and me to enjoy. Unfortunately, we don't know how to enjoy fully. That's the problem. We whine and lament for all the time. So this Ishvara Shakti, or the creative capacity, you can call them God, you can call them in any way you want, consciousness, whatever it is. But the principle is this: it's available everywhere. That is why even in the Prahalada Charitram, when Lord Narasimha is about to appear, when the demon asks, when the Rakshasa asks his son, Prahalada, small boy, you keep on telling Narayana, Narayana, God, can you tell me where is God? In simple terms, he says, Tunilum iruppar, Turumbilum iruppar. The English translation for this is, he will be in a small dust particle, he will be in a pillar. So he keeps banging each pillar, and then the moment he hits a pillar, Narasimha appears. This is a story, Purana. You may accept or you may not accept. So these forms of gods which we worship is the beauty of the Hinduism, Hindu Sanatana Dharma. Because we just don't sit in front of an empty wall, we are not that this thing to keep praying. So all these Puranas, all these Itihasas have given us various stories plus the gods in a particular form. You have village god, you have your personal god, what's called Ishta Devata, you have somebody likes Rama, somebody likes Krishna, somebody likes Muruga, somebody is a Lakshmi worshipper, somebody is a Saraswati worshipper. Our Sanatana Dharma includes everything because we see the oneness of God in everything. There may be some ordinary people who may be arguing this is big, that is big. There is no question of that is big or this is big. Lord Krishna says, I am there in everywhere. In Gita he says very, very, very clearly, I am in everything. Because you cannot separate. You cannot separate the potter from the pot. Similarly, you cannot separate the principle of God from this universe or in any of your actions. So we accept this principle, and we have so many gods, beauty, that is the beauty, so many festivals, so many functions, so many rituals, because we enjoy and see the oneness of the God in everything. I like Vishnu, okay, I am a Vishnu Bhakta, fine. Somebody is Shiva Bhakta, fine. Somebody is Mariamman Bhakta, fine. So we have Grama Devata, village goddess, your own personal god, your own family deity, and the rest of the deities in the various temples. Because every place belongs to him. Everything is his. And with this knowledge at the background, as I said in the previous episode, if at all we are going to accept and take the results as they come, that is the pure Karma Yoga. This is God, and for which we pray. The all-pervasiveness of Ishvara is beautifully explained in this true anecdote. One poor devotee was lying down on the road in Kashi. A Panditji came and asked him, do you know which side your legs are pointing out? They are pointing out towards Kashi Vishwanathar temple. The poor devotee smilingly asked the Panditji, "Oh Panditji, please tell me where Kasi Viswanathan is not prevailing." Panditji understood his mistake, learnt a big lesson from this poor devotee, and went off. The all pervasiveness of the Lord is very clear with this episode. So, in the next episode, we will see what is prayer and how to pray. Thank you.
எல்லாருமே அருமையா எங்களுக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்ணி நிறைய என்கரேஜ்மெண்ட் கொடுத்துட்டே வரீங்க. ஸோ உங்க எல்லாருக்குமே நான் நன்றி அப்படின்னு நான் சொல்ல விரும்புறேன். வீடியோவை நிறைய பேர் பார்க்குறீங்க, நிறைய பேர் என்கரேஜ் பண்றீங்க, அண்ட் நிறைய பேர் கமெண்ட் பண்றீங்க. அண்ட் ஐ நோ மெனி ஆஃப் யூ அவேட் த நெக்ஸ்ட் பார்ட். தேங்க்யூ அண்ட் தேங்க்யூ அண்ட் நன்றி for all your support. Keep supporting us and kindly like, share and subscribe to Hayas Production House. Nandri Vanakkam. Let's await the next video with Dr. V.V. Parthasarathy. Until then, thank you and have a wonderful day.